So we're in this series, That's Syck. And last week, if you were here, my message was called Little Man. We talked all about Zacchaeus was a wee little man, and a wee little man was he. You know, that song and stuff. But the main thing we talked about was that sycamore tree and how you imagine Zacchaeus looked at it and he identified himself with that. He looked down at himself for being a tax collector, being just kind of looked at as a filthy individual that people hated on. He looked down at himself, well, I guess... Did he look down on himself? Yeah, because he was short. He looked down on. Well, people looked down at him because he was short. So he identified, just like those sycamore trees, how the bark would be falling off them and they were kind of nasty. He would identify himself in that way. And so the whole point with last week is just, you know, we identified ourselves with Zacchaeus, but I think we also identify ourselves with that sycamore tree in the way we look at ourselves. And see, God intended for us to look at ourselves as something that He created. And God doesn't create crap. God doesn't create anything that is without purpose. He doesn't create anything that's without beauty. God creates, or if you're a man, handsomenesses. God creates things that are perfect. And although we're human, we mess up, we're not perfect. He's created us in His perfection because we are created in the image of God. We had that series Image. And so I'm here at my house. And I was just checking out some of the different trees. I don't know what this is called. This has like little fruit things on it. What is that? Look really close there. That's I don't know what that is. All these different types of trees, though. That's not a tree. That's a light. That's a tree, though, right there. But then there's this tree right here. I was trying to talk to my mom, ask a little bit about what kind of tree it actually was. She told me it was a flowering crabapple. I'm confused. I don't see any crabs or apples on the tree, but it is kind of a pretty tree. Pretty soon, you know, it's like getting to be springtime. It's a little chilly today, but, you know, these trees are going to start, you know, blossoming beautifully and start looking really pretty and stuff. But as I look at this tree, the title of my message tonight I'm going to be getting into is Axes and Fruit. And as I look at this tree, I think about how God not only created things in His beauty as far as people, but also all of creation around us. You look at the birds, you look at, I don't know, alligator just popped in my head. He's kind of ugly, but you look at even these rocks on the ground. Everything was created in God's beauty. But with this series specifically, That's Syck, referring to the sycamore tree, we're just talking about, I guess, trees in general. Like this week, my message, axes and fruit. I want us to think about this tree and think about just the beauty of what God created. And in the same way, I want it to relate to us and how God has created us to be beautiful and have purpose and to grow. And so tonight, I'm just going to be talking to you guys about, before I come up, just all about the purpose that God has for us and how He has a plan for us to grow and to be successful and succeed. But if we choose our own path, in the same sense, that purpose can also be stripped away from us. And we can create our own plans instead of clinging to the plans that God has for us. And so I'm going to come up here tonight and just share it with you. This is part 2, That's Syck, Axes and Fruit.